Listen, apparently I've been live all this time and did not know it. Listen, because my computer decided that it wanted to act up on me, y'all. My computer wanted to act up on me. Let me go to my commercial so I can get myself together, y'all, because I've been doing this thing for 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Listen, y'all, we are back. We are back. We are back. And I just want to make sure that I get myself together on IG as well, because this is supposed to be a all around live for IG, streaming to IG as well as Facebook and YouTube while using StreamYard. And so I'm trying to get my phone situated on this side, but I had to make sure that I'm live. And if you guys are catching me for the first time, um, I'm Coach YASHEKA. YASHEKA Foster, affectionately known as the Artist of Dating, and I empower women to date with through self-discovery, where I found the love of their lives and do it with intentions and the tools to balance it all. And today, and hey, IG and Facebook, you're here. And we're also streaming through, like I said, YouTube. And so we're doing all this through StreamYard. And if you guys get close with me, listen, don't talk about me. I got a peel done the other day, so my face is I'm gonna be peeling like a snake here in a little while. If you're joining me, make sure you give me like a little sign. Let me know you here. I'm not ignoring y'all down here. Just let me know you here. If you're catching it on a replay, make sure to hashtag replay. And today we are talking about, is happiness a fairy tale in terms of relationships? Right? I said a mouthful. I know I did. Let me adjust the phone for IG, okay? Because I don't want to keep looking down at my phone. I want to make sure that we're talking talking face to face, right? So that's the question I want to ask: is relationships, is happiness a fairy tale in terms of relationships? And let me tell you guys where I got this idea from. I was listening to another person on YouTube that gives dating advice. I don't particularly like mentioning names, and I don't follow this person. I don't subscribe to their channel for various reasons. Because, one thing about dating advice and dating coaches is that this is what I tell people. I give dating advice from 3 different perspectives, right? And my perspectives, I call them my 3 triads, okay? And my 3 triads is this. I give my advice from, number 1, my education, because I have a master's degree in marriage and family counseling. Number 2, my experiences, because I'm 49 years of age. I've been married twice and divorced twice. So if I don't have anything else, I definitely have experience. And then number 3, I give advice from what I call my intuition, or my gut hood instinct. That's what I call it, my gut hood instinct. So when my clients come to me and they want to talk about relationships, I use all 3 of those things to give them the coaching in which they need. And so I say all that to say this: at the end of the day, there is no direct way in which to get to things when in terms of dating and get to relationships. You have to do what works for you. And so that's my little caveat to what I'm about to say. And thank everyone for joining me, whether you're here with me on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. So anyway, the question that was asked was, there was a lady that was being interviewed by someone on another platform. And the question that was asked was, she had dated a guy for 10 years and didn't marry him. And she decided that she did not want to marry him because she wasn't happy in a relationship. And one of the reasons that she wasn't happy in a relationship, she said, was because of the sex, right? That was one of the things. She said that he wasn't really a good person. That was like the after effect. She said that he wasn't a good person, right? and that she wasn't happy. So the person that she was talking to told her that happiness was irrelevant. Okay. He stated that happiness was irrelevant simply because, and I quote, that when it comes to women of color, we have it confused about what happiness looks like. We believe that happiness is this fairy tale that we see out here in the world. When we look at TV shows and when we read magazines and books and when we see movies and things like that. And so the happiness that we think is supposed to be, it doesn't really exist. And so I really wanted to come today, and I hope that there's people that want to join in on this conversation. Um, I really wanted to see what people thought about that. Is happiness really a fairy tale in terms of relationships and dating? I've heard people say that when you are in love, or should I say when you are in marriage, you fall in and out of love with the person, right? So, which means that you don't feel like that in love, in love, in love, in love every day, because you don't do something every day, right? You love the person, don't feel that in love every day. But or do you, right? Or do you? And the reason why I say or do you is because the only time I think that you really, really feel that in love, in love, in love is when your relationship is challenged, or when something is done that throws it off its normal routine, right? And what I mean by that is, say, for example, one of you gets sick in a relationship, okay? And it's up to that other person to care for that sick person. That person that's sick may feel that love for that person that's caring for them, or vice versa. The person that's doing the caring may feel the love or the in love for the person they're caring for, right? But when you're working, going back and forth, taking care of the kids, doing whatever you're doing, normal life routines, you don't really feel it every day because you're not really being challenged. You're just going through life, but you love that person. And so what I say that is, this person suggested to that person that they were talking to, the woman they were talking to, that person did not know what happiness really was. And I thought that was really weird because I didn't understand how can one person tell another person that they did not know what happiness was, and that they took a whole group of people and said that everyone in this group don't really know what happiness is. And I thought that was very baffling to me. I didn't understand that. And so I said, well, you know what? Let me do a live where I come to all social platforms and ask the question about, is happiness a fairy tale, first of all? And are we really confused about what happiness looks like in terms of a relationship? And if we are confused, then where do we go to get out of confusion? Because if we look at our families, if we look at other couples, if we look at TVs, if we look at rom-coms, if we read books, if we look at movies, we bring all this information together just like we do all things, right? All things that we do in life, we learn, we pull from information, we pull from all these sources to gather our own opinions about something. And so happiness is no different, right? Because that's how we learn. We learn by watching other people. So if I have decided that for me happiness look a certain way because I pulled enough information from other people, that shouldn't I now know what happiness looks like? And so I didn't quite understand when he told her that she didn't know what happiness was, because here was the kicker to that. She told him that she was, I think this woman was 37. She did not have children, had never been married, and desired to be married with children. And so he wanted to know, why did she leave that 10-year relationship as opposed to sticking it out with him? And then that way she could have done things, got a child, been in a relationship, and they could have raised the child together. And she said because she wasn't happy. And he thought that that was ridiculous. And I didn't understand how her not being happy was ridiculous, right? Because he was trying to say, well, did it really take you 10 years to find out? And she was saying that she wanted to be for sure. And he said, you knew before it hit 10 years that you wasn't happy. And she was just saying that, it was one of those things that she was trying to force it. And before she knew it, time had went by because she was very complacent and comfortable in the relationship. Right. And that very well may be true. You guys know even marriages do that. Marriages that should have been probably separated or divorced a long time ago, they stay on longer than they should. Relationships stay on longer than they should. Hell, we stay at some of our jobs longer than we should because we get comfortable with them, knowing that we should have left them a long time ago. So how is it that you can be crucified for a relationship that you stay in longer than you should, when you stay at a job longer than you should, you stay at a house longer than you should because you don't feel like moving? You stay in the environment sometimes longer than you should because you don't want to change, right? We do things all the time longer than we should because we don't like just uprooting things. We don't like change. We don't like new things. We like to stay with what's comfortable for us. So how is it that a person is being persecuted? Because what he's telling her now is that now she's pretty much running out of time. By her being 37, never been married, doesn't have any kids, the odds of her being able to get married and have kids before she's 40 is almost slim to none. And so she told him that she was willing to go IVF in order to have children. And so he explained to her that that was a selfish thing to do. In other words, he said that, well, you had a man for 10 years that you could have had a family with, had a husband with, and had children. Then that way you wouldn't have selfishly had babies. And so what she was trying to say was, well, I feel that because, like, other words, why be in an unhappy relationship for the sake of having children? Which that's a lot of people's case. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, okay, well, I tried the marriage thing. We had kids, but it didn't work. So am I supposed to continue to be unhappy, or am I supposed to continue to take this or that? But I got kids, and so I stay. Right. So when people tell people their stories or when they give people advice, you have to really be clear that you have to really make sure that you are whole and complete yourself, and that you don't bring any residuals over when you're advising people, especially the ones out here that's giving relationship advice, because people's livelihoods are dependent on some of the things that people are telling them. And for me, I would never advise anyone or coach anyone to stay in something that they really, really say in true that they are unhappy with. Because guess what? That causes other psychological issues. When people are unhappy, that starts to spill over into other things in life. It starts to spill over in with your children, if you have children. It starts to spill over in your family, your outside family, in your careers, in your health, all kind of things, right? You start wearing that unhappiness on your face, your health starts to suffer. You start having heart problems, you start eating, you start gaining weight, you start having just all kind of things going on with you because you're stressed, because you're not happy. So I would never advise anyone to stay with someone that's not happy. So I'm not sure why they did, but they said that that you have to forego happiness if the goal is to just be married and have a kid. And I don't understand that. And I just really wanted to know what anybody else was saying. And I'm sorry, you guys, it's hard for me to see if anybody is commenting on this. And I'm not going to clean this up for YouTube. I'm not going to clean this up for YouTube. This is going to be live and in raw. So if anybody come on, and then for me to see if anybody is making any comments on Facebook, I can't really see that either. So, but that was something that I wanted to talk about. And right now, this is just a monologue, just me by myself talking. But I just wanted to continue on what I was saying about happiness in a relationship. Let me tell you guys something. When you're out here dating, because you guys know that follow me, I am a dating coach, right? I don't deal too much with you in your relationship. I'm the person that helps you get to the relationship, right? Help you figure out all those things that's going on in your life, or shall I say the things that happen within your life that got you to where you are now in this dating space. So I help you date through self-discovery. In other words, do you have any residual effects that kind of block your mindset when it comes to dating? Do you have any trauma or any type of baggage, right, for lack of a better word, that's carrying over from previous things that now, because of it, you can't see the good in front of you of people because you're putting people in boxes because of other relationships. So that's where Coach Yashika come in at in terms of helping you date through self-discovery. And so I tell you this because when you're out here dating, these are things that you need to have on your list. You want to be happy with your partner. You know what I mean? I remember when I served in the military, there was something that people would do. I remember talking to, or it was like a running joke in some of the units that I was serving in, right? It would always be that one person, right? Especially and I'm sorry, it would usually be a male soldier who people would laugh about, or not really laugh, but they would kind of make little sarcastic remarks about it and say, well, so and so don't want to go home because they don't have a happy home. So they would stay at work, be like, well, his house must not be happy because he's staying at work when everybody else is going home, right? And after a while, you start to believe that those things were true because people would stay at work longer than they have to. And it's like, okay, well, why are you at work when everybody else is going home? Is your home really that unhappy? Right? And so, of course, in the beginning, when I was a young soldier, I didn't really understand that. But as I got older in the ranks and I understood, and I was married myself, I understood that that was a real thing. People really were staying at work to avoid going home. And so that's when I knew that happiness was important in a relationship. And I was a young girl when I first discovered this. Like, you want happiness. I want to go home. I want to hurry up and leave work and go to my family and go to my husband or go to whoever, right? I want to see them at the end of a long day. I need that to be my safe space. I need that to be the place where I relax and I kick up and I smile more. And I don't have to worry about I always have to be on high alert or always have to feel like I'm running crazy or whatever, or trying to impress anybody. Like, that should be my safe haven. Home should be your safe haven. Home should be your happy space. And if it's not, then you need to figure out a way to make it your happy space. Period. Period. Home should be your happy space. And if it's not, figure out a way to make it your happy space. So I don't agree with that person when they say stay with somebody just because you want to be married and have a kid and you're not happy. I don't agree with that. I don't think nobody should do that. No one should do that. You should not do that. Happiness is important because guess what? If you're not, eventually something's going to give in the relationship. Especially if you start off young being unhappy. You think you're going to grow old together still being unhappy? No, eventually something's going to give. One of y'all going to step out of the relationship. One of y'all going to start misusing the other, or abusing the other, or mistreating the other, or whatever, because you're going to start resenting the whole thing. So that never ends up good. That's never good. So why would you advise somebody to stay in a relationship when they're unhappy? Right? I would never tell anybody that. So you guys remember that you want to be happy in a relationship. Happiness should be on the top of your list. Not, it should be next to your partner being your best friend. Like, happiness and best friends should go hand in hand. That should be first on everybody's list when they are finding a partner, when they are thinking about dating. If that person can't be your best friend, your happy space, then that's not the person for you, period. And if you don't feel that with somebody that you're dating, that's the wrong person. Let's stop playing games. Let's stop trying to make, people be who they're not. If they're not that person that you can't wait to get home to or see, if you live in different homes and be like, you know what, I cannot wait to see him or her. If they're not that person, then guess what? They're not that person for you. Period. Because you want to look forward to seeing them. You want to see them. And if you don't feel that, then they're not for you. Period. You should want to see them. You should be happy about it. So you guys remember that when you're out here and you get coaches, and if you need any type of assistance, right? You guys can catch me here on Facebook as well as on YouTube, right? On IG at The Artist of Dating, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. Also, down below, you can schedule a consultation with me and see if I am the coach for you. Ah, yes. I know I am the coach for you. My name is YASHEKA Foster, affectionately known as the Artist of Dating, and I empower successful women or high achieving women to date through self discovery while finding the partners of their dreams and the tools to balance it all. Thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on IG. And if you guys want to DM me or ask me a question, just do so, and I will go do a live for you or whatever. But everything that you do will always remain anonymous, and so you don't have to worry about any of that. And I will catch you guys in the next live. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, Instagram. Bye. Bye, YouTube. Bye.